You better get out of here, honky.
And now for something completely different.
I got moves, man.
Well, two honks and Kim just messing around. You'll never know what they talk about on two honks. Two honks and Kevin. You might hear something about the NBA. Maybe they'll just make your day on two honks and Kevin. It's sports and life and family too. Let's all listen to two honks and a Kevin. Yeehaw! Just crap my pants.
All right, it is October 20th, almost November. Let's close that out there. What's going on, Kevin?
Not much.
Hey, Blake.
What's going on?
What's going down? I went to the dermatologist yesterday, and did you ever have one of those interactions with somebody, and you just were like, "Man, I wish that person was a part of my life." She's so nice and so complimentary. I was like, I left that place feeling like $1 million.
Dang, bro, what was she rubbing on? What kind of dermatologist was this?
She was just helping me out, and I had like a couple like skin tags or whatever. I go and get them taken off, and she took one off, and she was like, "I bet that one hurt." And I was like, "No, it's fine." And she was like, "All right, are you sure you need me to keep going? I'm sure you're probably in a lot of pain." I was like, "No, I'm okay actually." She's like, "Wow, you're really tough." And I was like, "What?" Like, I was like, "First of all, that's not true at all, but thank you."
Like, oh, you work out?
And I was just like, she like the whole time she's like, "This is gonna sting a little." Shh, wow, you're doing so well. Like literally, like I was a 5-year-old, but I felt so good the whole time.
Oh, that's so funny, dude. You're like, I need
You're
more
like,
of this in my
hey,
life.
hold on. Richard's like, watch this.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I'm press pressing. Can you?
Richard's like, I've been trying to impress a woman for so long. I'm finally getting
one. I know, and one I've never met. I'm totally impressed. Like, but one I've been trying to impress is like whatever.
Yeah, I already got you.
My skin tags.
That's funny, dude. Yeah, so sometimes you do come across people though where you're like, you know what, you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. you know, like thank you. I'm gonna have a good day now.
Right? Yeah. It was interesting. It was good for sure.
That's awesome.
That's funny, man.
So, do you ever think that person, like, hey, when they go home, somebody does not like them?
Yeah. Their husband's probably really sick of her.
Yeah. You're so positive all the time, and you're so nice. Stop being nice and positive.
Why are you this nice? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You're nice to everybody else, but not me.
Is that how Amy is, Kevin?
Absolutely.
We already know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's hilarious. Oh man. Hey, I'm gonna say this before I forget. So I think it was the day I sent you guys a picture of me being at that Friendly Taverns place or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, that's just so we had a pretty good last Friday where everybody got lunch together and we were sitting there talking to my boss, John, who is the branch manager. He has never ordered anything off the internet. As in, well, I'm actually sitting next to a guy. But you're not a branch manager for like a pretty big business. But we were explaining to him how simple Amazon is, how simple ordering of food is from an app, how to check your banking, like all these things. And it blew my mind.
How old is this dude?
He's 50. He's 50. But the reason I wanted to bring it up is that when I talk to people like about 10 to 15, maybe 20 years older than me, there is this gap of I didn't keep up with the technology. I didn't keep up with the smartphones. I mean, this guy's a pretty good example, but this is actually a good example. He didn't grow up with it. So it was foreign to him. It was like literally foreign, to him. So, but anyways, it was just so intriguing just to have to educate somebody today, about everything you can do on these little phones,
Right. Honestly, when is the last time you guys walked into a bank?
I don't.
Today.
There you go.
My pop says today.
I've not been in a bank probably in the last 2 years.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I mean, I deposited some checks today, which I usually take the picture and do it. But
that's where it's at.
It just hits your account quicker if you just take it or whatever. But and I work, I work next to one. But I don't know, like, because when I was talking to him about it, I was like, I gotta bring this up on the podcast, because it was in a way it was fascinating to explain to him how great this new technology is, but also like picking apart not how dangerous it is, but just like the addictions of it. And it's like you can't talk about how great this device is without talking about all the negative that comes with it or whatever, but like he said this though, he goes, I went to go, he was at a football game. I think it was like a high school football game, which I thought was a little ironic, but he said they literally would not take cash.
No, they don't.
They didn't even have a way to take cash. How do you not have a way to take cash?
Some places are too dangerous because nowadays.
That all changed kind of with COVID. Like everybody went towards that way, and now it's either you scan a barcode or they just take your card. Like you got to buy them online. That's what we got to do with volleyball games.
Yeah, so that got me to thinking, like, so how much longer before we're not using cash or coins, right? Because really all you need is a card. You don't even need a card. You just need your phone, and you can have all your credit cards on that and just use that for.
You just tap it. Yeah.
So it just, I mean, like, are we a couple years away? I mean,
I feel like we're already there.
Right. But I mean, will it ever become a time where they say, no, like, turn in all your cash, we'll give you a massive credit, but we're not taking cash anymore.
Turn in all your cash.
While you're there, get a vaccine.
yeah, no kidding. Yeah, and the stamp on your forehead. Don't worry, it's just a barcode.
Dude, I honestly only get cash when I know I'm going to the barbershop, or like I go to my daughter's game, because they'll have like a concession stand or something like that.
Yeah,
barbershop is the only place I and they have an ATM in the barbershop, so I just go there and take out $40 and give them $40 cash and walk out.
That must be a barber thing, because that's how Chad's is. I got so much to talk about when it comes to that guy, but
my barber takes Venmo too, but it's just like I've never used a card in the barbershop, so I always get cash.
Yeah, that's Chad. He'll let me Venmo him, but most people it's cash only. So I did see something the other day. They were talking about on Venmo, like, do you need some type of receipt or something if you receive a payment more than $900? You see something like that, like for like tax purposes, not necessarily a receipt, but it's like you can't have a transaction over $1,000, I think it was, or maybe $600. I can't remember. I don't know if you guys had heard that or not. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not.
I don't use it that
familiar with Venmo. I use Google Pay or PayPal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that's it.
Huh. I didn't know Google had.
That's the difference in the generations. For the last 15 years, I've probably had between $100 and $250 cash on me all the time. I never went without cash. That's today. I stopped, got $150 just because I only had like $70 on me.
Big ball over here, bro.
So I ended up asking my father-in-law, Steve. This was literally like when we went to Michigan. Like, how did you do road trips? Because like you're basically taking this wad of, like, could you imagine like a wad of money and what it was traveler's checks back then, right?
Did you guys do traveler's checks?
We did once or twice. Normally it was cash.
But I would be so scared with $3,000, like just $3,000 cash. Like I don't know what you're
with $100 in my pocket.
But I'm just estimating. I'm just estimating for a vacation what you're taking, about $3,000 cash or something like that.
Well, probably not back then. $3,000 bought you a house back then.
Yeah, it's totally different.
No.
But yeah,
but could you imagine?
Yeah, it'd be like going to Disney right now and just pockets full of cash. You got no way to charge it, no way to swipe it, just straight cash. That's all you got. How much?
Yeah.
Just think about how much less debt we would be in.
Well, see, most of my life, I never used a credit card. If I didn't have the money, I didn't get it.
Yeah, yeah.
And now it's paid off years later because we didn't have no credit card debt.
Right.
Now, in the last 15 years, 10 years, we use credit card for everything. But I still feel for that emergency deal, if your car breaks down on the road, guy, hey, $50, I'll get you started. Well, I don't have it, no cash. Well, too bad, buddy. You know,
Right.
So that's the emergency fund kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like to always have at least $20 on me. I mean, like you said, you're at a sporting event and they, kids want some nachos or whatever. You've got some type of cash on you. But yeah, if I got more than $100 on me, I'm scared to death. I'm gonna lose it.
20, 40 is about what I do. I'm on with you with that. Like 20, 40 bucks is probably my limit. Anything after that is like it's taken out because I'm about to spend it right away for some reason.
Right. I feel like I hold on to it more. It's because it's so easy to swipe, right? It's like if you don't have, even if it's Starbucks, you go spend $5. It's like it's weird if you have $10 on you. Do you want to go spend half of it on a drink? You know what I'm saying?
And the nice thing about swiping is you don't have to deal with the change in your pocket.
Right. But then the piggy bank never gets. So my piggy bank used to be, I filled it up all year and then I'd buy a pair of shoes with it or buy a watch or something with it. But now it's like takes 6 years to get $10.
I overbalance on my checkbook. Like if I spend $1.02, I write down $2 on my checkbook.
Wow. So hold on.
Man, you still use a checkbook, bro?
I use an online checkbook. Yeah.
That's probably smart.
Well, yeah, man.
Probably.
How do you guys balance your money? I don't. How do you guys do your budget?
Hey, this is why you're a better saver than me.
Look at the credit card receipt.
Yeah.
Just say, oh, that'll get paid off next month. Yeah, I'll get it next month.
I overcompensate. So if anything I spend over, I sum up the next dollar.
So
in a month or two, I'll kind of calculate what the difference is, and I might buy myself something or put it in savings or something.
That's how you're supposed to do it. Yeah, you mature
I
adult.
don't think you guys are grandparents yet, so you got to have money on you when you got Blake's kids and Janae's kids. Oh, Grandpa, I need this. Grandpa, I need that.
Whatever, they come to us. what they need is an app, and you don't know how to buy that. So
yeah.
Oh shoot, there was something parlay to that. And one of the other things too, like with money becoming the way it is, with it's all on cards. Because I was actually explaining to John, like in a way, because he felt like it was unsafe putting all of his information on his phone, and I was like, in all reality, it's safer because if someone picks your pocket and you got a bunch of credit cards on it, they can't buy anything, right? I mean, I wonder how that works. I mean, they really can't. If they want to go buy something on Amazon, you're going to see where it's being delivered, right? So you can figure out whoever it is. If they try to buy something at the store, they need your PIN number, right? So
We got hit.
Unless they use credit.
But you still have to put a PIN number in, right?
Zip code.
But my point is, if you have cash is gone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
There's no way to get it back. Like if you get your card or even your phone stolen and somebody uses your account, you can go to the bank and they'll reimburse you because you're insured.
Right.
Dude, there's no insurance for cash.
Exactly. It's gone. Yeah. Yeah.
We got hit, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago. Somebody got our credit card number. How, we still don't know. But they charged $604, one in Kokomo, one in somewhere up towards Lafayette, the same exact $604 at 2 different gas stations, and then $46 somewhere else.
How you gonna spend $604 at a gas station?
To be exact, too.
Filled up the boat, filled up the truck.
We think they bought a ton of cigarettes.
A ton of cigarettes.
We'll take all the cigarettes.
Yeah. We'll take a pair of red Marlboros.
Yeah. And we'll take some of that warm Bud Light in the back too.
Yeah, yeah.
But Blake, we made a lot of money selling that stuff, didn't we?
Straight up. Yeah, man. Yeah. So anyway, it was just kind of an interesting conversation. You know, it's just the way, just the way things change and where it's going to go, and then not to mention Bitcoin and stuff like that. It's like that could eventually just be the hey, Dad, why didn't you just put all your money in Bitcoin 20 years ago? I mean,
Oh no, like
So-
it can just go up shit creek,
yeah.
So Blake, is he married?
Who?
The guy you work with.
Oh, John. Yeah.
His wife have a card? Like, how do they?
Yeah, I think his wife probably does all of it.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. She's probably online shops and stuff like that. Because I mean, it's just so hard not to have a card right now.
Yeah.
You have to.
He was talking about he needs a new pair of shoes.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, okay, dude, I have 17 apps. Pick one. And he's like, well, why don't you just go to the store? I was like, John, do you know how long it's going to take you to go to 4 different stores to find it? No, I'll just go to one store and find what I want and buy it. Well, okay. I guarantee they're not going to have your size, and they're going to direct you back to the website.
Dude, that Nike app's a problem. Like, it always tells
All
me there's
day.
new shoes in, and I'm always looking at it, and I'm like,
All
man, I
day.
like this pair, and then I just have to close it out. Like, I can't just be buying shoes. I don't even like shoes that much. Like, it's fine.
I love shoes.
I just, yeah. So yeah, I can see how those shoe apps can be a problem.
All right, Kevin. Okay, so I have a problem. I have a moral problem, but I also feel like I deserve this. So I bought a Nike golf bag, and I had it shipped to my work to Star. For some reason, it went to my old place of work before. So where I worked at Miller, but it was before Miller even moved. So I went to their address. When I left Miller, we was at a different location than the address that I had provided apparently on the shipping. So when I first got the notification of that my item was shipped, I saw that it was going to go to that 577 whatever Boulevard address, right? So I contacted Nike, told them, hey, that's going to the wrong address. That's my old workplace. Nobody's there. So they told me to contact UPS. I contacted UPS. They told me to get onto the website and change the delivery address. So I did that. Well, it got delivered. It didn't come to my address. It went to the other address. So now, which is ran by 2 men in a truck. So now I'm like, well, crap. And now, how am I going to get this? So I contact Nike. They tell me to contact UPS. I contact UPS. They tell me to contact Nike. It becomes this horrible deal. Excuse me. I eventually get a hold of Nike, and they said, okay, give us 2 to 4 days, and we will have somebody from our elite team contact you. 2 hours later, I get a notification saying that I have been fully refunded.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, okay, well, the bag's basically gone. Like, that's fine. So I almost just rebought the bag. I just figured Nike was just going to be like, we'll figure out how to retrieve it. Here's your money. We're done with you. Case closed. Maybe they don't care about losing this bag. I don't know. So in the meantime, I text my old boss, Rob, and said, hey, can you swing by our old place and see if my bag's there? So he did. He said the doors were locked. But he eventually emailed someone that he knows that works there or whatever, because they basically bought out the space that they used to have. So day goes by and I don't hear anything. So I'm just like, okay, bag's lost. I'm over it. I'm just going to rebuy it. It is what it is. So this morning I rebuy it. I get a message from Rob about 4 hours later, and he's like, hey, check your email. You're welcome. So I check my email. Long story short, excuse me. He got a hold of somebody and they have my bag. So now I basically can retrieve the bag, and I have refunded my money has been refunded. And I also contacted Nike and told them to cancel my new order, my new bag. So I can retrieve the bag that I've been refunded for and then return the bag that's coming, but I'm technically getting a bag for free. Thank you, Richard. Richard gives me he's like, I'm not going to verbalize it, but I will give you.
They got plenty of money.
Technically, you just ran a scam.
I know, and then I just admitted it on a podcast.
Not intentionally. You didn't intentionally do it. Like it's like
Why, first of all, why is your old address information in?
I don't know. It came from the Nike app. I literally don't know because I know I put in the address for my new work. So I don't know how. It was probably originally my default address because I'd always have stuff just into my work because that's where I was. So yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, it's like I literally told my mom earlier. I was like, you know how much money I've given Nike? Do you realize I am such a loyal customer of their products? You know, everything I have is Nike. It seems like so. So yeah, man. But I just, you know, but I was going to ask you, Kevin. Can they? I mean, what happens in that situation? Like,
so Nike probably is going to have UPS go and retrieve it. Basically, they're going to pay for a barcode to go retrieve it, and it's not going to be there.
And then they'll just consider it lost.
Yeah, but I mean, Nike has a lost thing anyway. Like they're making so much. You get what I'm saying? They're making so much money.
Some kid got paid $1 to make that bag.
Yeah, I was gonna say they lost $2 off that bag probably.
I know.
Right.
It's more of the
that's already built in the price, and I mean sometimes UPS will have to pay them for it, like damage and stuff like that. So it all balances out and gets washed anyway.
It's probably just a write off for them in the end.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and
somehow,
UPS probably has a deal with them to where they basically ship for free almost anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's so marked down that.
So, but I would assume that a lot of people probably try to do this and take advantage of it and run schemes, huh?
They probably.
So we have a big scam at our place where, all right, so there's a Walmart return center, right? And so these people say that they want that they're returning their TV, right? They're returning a Vizio that's $300.
Right.
It's supposed to go to this third-party return center, right?
Right.
All the third-party return center has to do is say that they received the package, they received Blake's package, and then Walmart compensates you for it. Well, instead of sending TVs back, they're just sending a little package with like a paperclip in it. And then Walmart's refunding their money and they're keeping the TV or whatever.
And Walmart doesn't even, and there's nothing Walmart can do about it?
There's nothing Walmart can do with it because there's somebody's working in the third party vendor that's working with these people.
Ah.
All they need is a tracking number to prove and verify that it was delivered. So yeah, people run. You see a lot of scams being ran. A lot of scams.
It's just crazy. There's always gonna be somebody out there that tries to.
And they're so sophisticated, and there's always somebody smarter than us that's doing something basically.
That's the truth. Yeah, so maybe I just gotta.
It's just a happy accident. You're fine.
I feel like I deserve it. You didn't
intentionally go out of your way to do it.
No. Well, I'm gonna have to go out of my way to retrieve the bag, but whatever.
Somebody last year, sent me I forgot what I ordered. Sent me a pressure cooker on accident, and I was like, all right, I didn't get my product. And they were like, all right, we're gonna send you your product. And I was like, all right, so when I get my product, do I send this back? No, you just keep it.
Yeah.
Amazon does that all the time. Yeah.
And I still have that pressure cooker in the basement. I've never opened it just because I like my crock pot so much.
I just wonder how that works because it does seem like shipping and handling is so like free. You know what I'm saying? Like anymore, it's just like, I try to deliver a package and it's going to be $6 or whatever, but it's like, all these online stores are just. But then again, I mean, I tell you who's got it going on is Kohl's. Kohl's has the smartest thing. You can take your Amazon stuff back. You just give it to them. You don't even need to put it in a box, nothing. Just give it to them. And then they give you a receipt. And on that receipt is 20% off in the store.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
It's the smartest thing. So they do the shipping. They have the agreement with Amazon. They probably even get paid, to do that. And then they give people more discounts. And then of course you go and you buy something
from Kohl's cash too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
you get your Kohl's cash too. You gotta have that.
Kohl's is the only place you leave and you're like, dude, I saved a lot of money today. Like you spend $200, but you're like, dude, I saved
markup.
Yeah, everything is so marked up. It's crazy.
Marked up. Yeah. It is crazy how you see all this free shipping, blah blah blah. It's somewhere built in that price though.
Yeah.
Somebody's getting your money.
Yeah, for sure. That is for sure.
But that's the thing is like people can't complain to any of these shipping and receiving companies because it's like, hey, what do you want me to give you free shipping? You already got free shipping.
Right. So
you know.
Good. You were talking about scams. I worked, 20 years for DHL delivery driver. And what was happening, found out later, these computers would come down the belt. Mm-hmm. Somebody would grab them, put them in their truck, but not scan them. Then take them and drop them off. And then it's supposed to go to the truck 27, whatever route it was. Well, he never gets the package, but he's getting called up front. It's on your route. Where's it at? He's never seen it. It took a little while. You always get caught somewhere down the road. Yeah. They were just picking any computer up off the belt, putting it back, never scan it. So,
yeah, there's so many ways, man.
Take it to a drop-off spot. Tell your buddy come pick this stuff up. Yeah,
exactly. You can drop it off at your own house.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, it's like when I worked for FedEx and we did the plane onboarding, people would take the trams next to the fence and just throw shit over the fence and then have people swoop by, pick them up. This is when PS2s were just coming out and people were throwing PS2s or PlayStation 2s over the fence.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Anytime humans are involved, something dirty's going on, man. Unfortunately. What was the little article you sent? Was there a shooting? Didn't you just send us something on text, Kevin? I saw y'all making some comments, but I didn't know what it was.
That was Richard that sent.
They found the remains of guy that killed. That may have found the remains of the guy that killed Gabby. I think her name was.
Fill me in on this. Is this the whole dog the bounty hunter situation?
Well, he's kind of a piece of it, but so basically the gist of it is there was a girl and a guy, and they had, I think it's a TikTok or Instagram vlog where they were living out of a van, traveling around the country. And so apparently the guy came back from the trip, but the girl did not. So and then there was a police tape, I don't know if it was leaked or police just kind of put it out there, basically of them having been involved in a domestic dispute. And it didn't look, I don't know, like when I watched it, like it didn't seem like the guy was abusive. It looked like the girl was the one abusive and having a mental breakdown. So I wasn't sure what to make of it per se. But you never know that situation, right? She could have been breaking down because he was being a dick,
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so the police ended up, kind of talking to both of them, and the whole conversation seemed very reasonable. Like, like they both understood that what was going on wasn't appropriate. They both understood it was a problem. And so they said, okay, look, you guys are not even in the state you live in. Let's just separate you two for a night. We're going to pay for, her or him or you two to have a hotel in separate places. And we're not going to tell either one of you where you're going. So that was the gist of the video from what I recall. And so, but then I guess, he probably ended up killing her a couple days later because they found her body, deceased, cause of death, homicide, strangulation is what it ended up being. The autopsy ended up coming back as. So they're looking for this guy. Like this guy comes home to his parents and then just leaves again, apparently, is what the word is.
And nobody knows where he is.
Nobody knows where he is. Like, and the parents aren't saying shit. Like the parents are like, and I don't know if it's because they truly don't know or if they're just not talking.
Right.
Which is hard because like if you're a parent, like,
oh yeah,
I don't know. Like I don't know what I would do. Like I I don't know. Like
Think about that. How long do you protect your kid when you know they've done something
yeah,
horribly wrong?
yeah,
But
I
they're
turned him in immediately.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
that's
don't
like,
blame you. All the shit he's probably giving you.
Yeah.
that's like finally one of the
all his shoes. I'm okay.
that's
right.
finally one of those late night Walmart trips. He came back
Right.
to haunt them.
So there's been a lot of conspiracy, and there was a thought at one point in time that there might be a bunker actually underneath the parents' yard.
I saw that.
Hooked them in there. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just saying that was a conspiracy. But what's really weird was they found this body, right, that has his notebook and some of this guy's belongings, and they found a body, basically. And the assumption is it's probably him. That's the assumption.
Where was the body found?
It's some sort of it was some sort of swamp area that's
Okay,
usually
what state?
I think Florida.
Okay, well that's where the guy lives, right?
I think so. Yeah. So they find the body, and the body's been drowned. Like it's gone.
And it's him.
They don't know. That's the
Yeah,
problem. No. And
It's-
now Kevin talked about DNA, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. But I would think that if you were to cover something up like that, and you didn't want to be able to tell who that person is, you would do your best to cover up DNA too. Well, lo and behold, if a body is underwater for a certain amount of days, DNA becomes unreliable.
Yeah. But is there? I mean, it's not like he's a skeleton, right? I mean, they should be able to tell.
Like
But-
his teeth or something, right?
They
Yeah.
might be able to tell, but well, I think from what I have read, the whole teeth thing is not real.
I've heard that too on that little documentary stuff we watched.
From what I
last time.
understand, the science behind the teeth thing is not real. Like it's not
Yeah.
true. Unless there's some sort of a like medical reason, or if you have like some sort of implant or something, they could
And they can go back and prove it.
right or something like that. Then sure, maybe, and that's still not even 100%. But so from my gathering, what was really funny was that this happens to be the same time that the parents decided to join the police in the search, and they just happened to find this body.
Oh,
And that's really that's what I was saying was like,
Mm.
and so then that's what kind of led me to see, okay, if they found a drowned body, what's the possibility that water can get rid of DNA evidence?
yeah. Like I mean, do you feel like they're trying to like fake his death so they'll stop looking for him?
I don't think it's out. Look, this is really conspiracy, shit. But
That's
at the
why I
same
like it.
time, if the parents are already
Right.
covered for him, why not find a dead body and they just plant it there, and then a week later lead the police
Right.
there with some of his belongings?
Yeah, but you know how
Right.
hard it is to find a dead body. I mean, it's not like you're just
Well,
gonna.
I mean, but they could have
They're
killed
at
someone.
Walmart.
Like, if this person's killed before, could he kill a homeless man that nobody knows that resembles him a little bit, and then
Picked up someone off the street, some sort of homeless
Yeah.
man, or I don't know. I don't know. Like I don't know. All I'm saying is it's the
that seems extreme, but
all of the dots line up for this being a little weird. The time they find the bodies, when the parents decide to finally go ahead and look, and this whole time the parents have not wanted to be involved at all. So let's
You-
say that out there too.
you know what I think's happening. This is all set up just so Netflix can release another
Dude, it's
documentary.
It's gonna be so tight. No, it's not. It's not great. It's not,
Yeah.
look,
In 2 years, we're gonna be like, remember when we were talking about this on our podcast? They finally did
dude, that one show where the dude killed his daughters. That whole case wasn't even 2 years old yet,
right?
and we didn't even know about it.
and we didn't. It was already a Netflix documentary. Like,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
it's
they just
amazing.
jump on it.
Yeah,
They probably just look for these crazy. They probably just look for these crazy situations. Yeah, I
Extreme
always,
situation, yeah.
I always find that interesting too. Like when you're watching a documentary like that one, when you're getting like live interviews, like live interactions
Mhm.
with the victim, like that situation that shows him coming home to the family and all this stuff. I'm like, how is there video cameras there already? Like if something dramatically happened in my house, right, and I come home
Right.
to it, and something happens to one of my kids or whatever, and now I become, they start accusing me. But why is there video camera? Why is Netflix at my house right now?
Right.
Like what's going on? I know
Could
it's
be a
not like-
reenactment.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure, unless it's maybe Netflix buying the footage from somebody that was smart enough to
Well,
cover it.
it was probably a documentary maker, so we can't really necessarily Netflix did it. Netflix just bought the documentary.
Yeah.
Netflix didn't make this; they just bought whoever. So probably whoever did the documentary got in contact with whoever family had the. Because also the other thing about that case is to keep in mind was that lady, the mother, the wife was a avid Facebooker, and she would continually Facebook her life in the video. So that's how they got a lot of the video that they got at the time. And I'm not sure about the police video. Of course, it's I think there was a family member there probably recording everything just for the sake of having it recorded because they already suspected this dude. So
Yeah.
that all makes that so I don't know. I think that case probably was just like the perfect scenario.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. 'Cause they seem so. Yeah, they seem so. Whatever, happy and loving, and like you said, you throw stuff on Facebook. It always everything looks. You don't post your bad moments. You only post your good ones. But still, you just never. That one was a hard one. I man, that one messed me up.
The end of it was hard because it's like, how could you and I just look at my kid and I'm like, my daughter especially, and I'm like, there's no way in hell. Like I can't even yell at her. Like I do not. I can't even punish her. Like I can't do it. So like, how did you do that?
And I know you're like me, Richard, but I go to the mind. Like how? How did you get to that? Like, were you so upset with your marriage? Were you just so done with your life that you did not care? Or I know you had another woman in the life, and maybe that's it. Maybe it's that. Yeah. But dude, it's your kids.
Yeah.
But then again, if you just killed your wife, now you want to get rid of the kids, but like you're not thinking straight because you have no backup plan. You have no way to escape. Like it just, dude, I just don't know how you get there. I don't know how you get there.
Yeah. Something evil entered that man's heart. I don't know, man. Like that's just terrible that someone could do something like that. And then even like the situation with Gabby and her boyfriend, it's like, how can you strangle the life out of somebody?
Right.
Like, that's like the most up close death.
Yeah.
Like you're literally looking at the person and watching them die to make sure they die. Like it's so and then just go home. He just goes home.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd rather get shot by an arrow.
Do you think it's because like do you think that it's planned, or do you think because I've always noticed that I catch myself in these moments, like even when you're punishing somebody or arguing with somebody, like I am dynamically thinking like, all right, I am saying what I want to say, and like don't grab this person, don't hurt this person. Like I'm rationalizing after. I think that there's people that they don't have that part.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They don't have that governor inside of them. Yeah, I'm the same way you are. Like whenever my kid or I or me and my wife are having a discussion, like mentally in my brain, I'm like, okay, careful with how far you raise your voice. Don't do anything threatening. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm that same way.
Don't do anything stupid. Yeah.
Right. I mean, it could just be heat of the moment. Governor got shut off, and they didn't even. I don't know. Maybe they blacked out. I don't know. I mean, because. I don't know. I can imagine there probably are moments in your life where you get so overly emotional that your brain just shuts off to protect itself. And go through motions. Like, and I don't know the truth to that, but I know there's like, when I did military stuff, there are things I don't even remember that I did. And none of it terrible or anything like that, but it's like my brain shut. Like I don't remember. Like I blacked out and I went through the process.
Because you were angered or what?
Just because I was so tired, or because it was fight or flight mode, or just something like that.
Fatigued, yeah, exactly.
Yep.
But I think your mind, as a person, sometimes you can go someplace you didn't know you could go.
Mm-hmm.
I've told this story before. My daughter Janae was about 8 years old. She was riding her bike where we used to live. It was kind of up a hill, and our house sat at the top of the hill. And I was in the garage, probably a 250-foot driveway, and I'm working on the race car. All of a sudden, I see her coming up the hill, and I must have turned my head and turned back. All of a sudden, the car pulls up next to the side of her. I don't even remember getting up from underneath the car and getting to the guy's window. I had him in no time flat, and he's, no, mister, I'm just looking for an address. You don't ask an 8-year-old girl an address.
Right. Right.
I was ready to freak. I mean, I was ready to whatever it took. And that was, I don't even know how, I don't even remember going from the garage to the street.
Yeah. I mean, I tend to have sympathy for people that just lost their, sorry, mom, lost their shit for a moment in their life and ruined it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
literally, like you just all the stress in life, and it came to this moment, and you got mad. You know, we kind of talked about a few weeks ago about the two people arguing in the cars, and then you hit another car, and then it hits at your kid's school,
yeah.
Richard. You know, and then it's like that's simple, just little mistake, just little bit of anger that you let get built up in your heart, mind, whatever, and it just. And it can happen to anybody, man. Like I that's my thing. I'm not above that. You know what I'm saying? Like I like you guys said, you gotta always, when you're arguing with your kids, when you're arguing with your wife, when you're arguing with a friend, whatever, it's like you gotta keep that, like, don't take it too far. It has to be, that logical thinking has to be there.
It's the same thing as drinking and driving. Have a couple beers, a buddy after work, jump in your car, kid's on a bicycle, pulls out in front of you, you kill him.
Yep.
Your life is messed up forever.
Yeah.
Over. Yeah.
Yep. And you're probably not even drunk.
Yeah.
Or, you just had 2 drinks, but
You didn't hit him because you were drunk. You just happened to have drunk that night. You know what I mean? Like, you're not.
yeah, you hit him because he got in the way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of, I don't know, man. There's a lot of situation. Not to be whatever, but we have one of my cousins, Ashley. I actually just talked to her mom the other day, and she just made bad decisions, man. And as a family, we've tried to help her, and she's gone down the road of drugs, and it's like, as a family, you feel like you're supposed to continue to help her and get her out of that, and be the family to support her and all that. But it's just like, you keep making those decisions, and I can't. No matter what we give you, no matter how much we help you, you're going to continue to make those stupid decisions that continue to keep your life from progressing. And it's like, I personally struggle with that, because it's family. Like, that's loyal. I'm so loyal. Right. But it's like, we have tried to help. And it's like, you're making the bad choices,
Right.
Yeah. One of the things that I learned with stoicism is that your empathy is like having a bag of pebbles, and in that bag you only have so many pebbles to give out
Right.
before you finally break. So you have to be careful with how much you get, how many of in that bag you give a single person.
Right.
I've wasted your empathy.
Yeah.
So in one hand, you're correct. Yeah, it's like you should try to help, but the other hand, you're hurting yourself and others by the continuing of helping.
Right.
And you might end up hurting that person because you're enabling that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. What other topics we got? There's always NBA to talk about since it just started.
Oh,
But
yeah, talk about.
yeah.
I tried to watch a little while. I was folding laundry. I actually thought about you because I don't know how you guys do laundry, but I'm always like, I would say two weeks behind,
Bro.
and then I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna do it, right? Like it'll be my excuse to watch football or basketball, and then it's like it never ends, dude. It's like, why do we need this many clothes? Like, I'll be good with like 4 or 5. Like, it never ends. I went through 2 big things of Tide detergent the last 3 days.
That's a week for us.
Yeah, I'm like, it never ends. And my wife works from home. It's like, dude, like if I work from home, it'd be like a t-shirt, basketball shorts, probably worn 2 or 3 days in a row. See, Richard, you got me right.
Richard hasn't changed in a month.
I've worn this shirt since Monday. I'm not crazy.
Absolutely.
That's only because I'm going to the office. So
yeah, I'm not sweating, right? So it's all good. It's not summer.
Hey,
I just feel like it never ends, and it's like it's old stuff in there too. It's like, to me, it's like, dude, I don't know what your old stuff is, but when you go through this stuff, throw something away because you're not wearing it if it's down here. You know?
Well, we lucked out this week because our washer was spilling water out and we didn't know where it was coming from. So we had a
You
couple of
lucked
days.
out.
Well, you'll see. So my beloved mom came by and grabbed a bunch of our laundry for us and went and did all the
Nice.
laundry. So we didn't have to do laundry this week. So I'm going to do it again next week. Yeah, don't act like you folded it.
I did.
But oh, you did? Well, thanks, Dad.
I helped.
There you go.
They carried it.
Right.
But what's funny is so basically our washer was leaking for a couple days from underneath and we had no idea why. And my wife was like, can you look at it? Can you look at it? And I'm like, sure. I don't know anything about washers, but I'll look at it. So I pull it out, I look on the back and there's a bunch of screws, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll just remove this panel and, see if I can see anything. And then I was like, well, even if I remove those panels, I'm still not going to know what I'm looking for. I was like, let me call my buddy Robbie. So I went to call Rob Ho because he used to work on them. And before I did that, I was like, oh, let me just kind of, I was inside the big tub or whatever and was kind of moving it around. And I looked where the fabric softener drips down and there was something black in there. And I was like, what is that? And I pulled out a sock and just full of fabric softener. I was like, all of our laundry's been running through my dirty sock, but I think I found the problem. So it literally took me like a minute and I was so happy. I went downstairs and I was like, it's fixed. And I didn't even have to use a
You
tool.
did the Macho Man pose. You're like, look at me. Everybody. I did
I don't know
that.
why you didn't try it 5 days ago, though.
Right.
Well, I just found out.
Dermatologist now. She'll let you know how good you did.
Yeah. Like, let me tell you.
Like, you're the best.
Let me tell you what I did the other
Hey,
day.
now he'll do it on purpose. Be like, man, I really need you guys to do a couple of these loads for me.
Yeah.
We won't fall for it again.
Yeah.
That's the second time they've helped us out with laundry. The bed bugs,
awesome.
the bed bug situation I was talking about last week. They were there for us on that too.
Nice. Burn it. Burn it.
Yeah.
Burn it. That's awesome.
So I do want to talk about the fantasy league since we're on the air real quick, or since we're all
Nice.
together. I don't know what to do about the waiver wire situation. Do we like
I
it?
think- Go ahead.
I was going to say, for those that don't know, I don't even know if I want to explain all this, but basically our fantasy basketball league just started back up. We changed some rules. You got to pay to get a player now, basically, but there's a little bit of confusion because usually you can pick up and drop players whenever you want. And now it's like, for example, I tried to pick up a player today, but I can't get him until tomorrow because I got to basically pay for him. Right.
You have to clear the waiver.
Right. But even if I make it, let's say Wednesday, like it was before, Wednesday's the only day you have to pay to get a player, then you're just not going to make any bids on Wednesday.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Or,
You'll make all your moves.
people aren't going to pick up 4 players on Wednesday. So that's why I was saying, as long as everybody understands that that's how it is, like, because even if you don't receive your player, like, you're just going to have to bid on 2 players. You know what I'm saying? If you need a player that bad, you're going to have to bid on 2 players.
Oh, just to get one?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But
That
like-
was my whole mindset about it.
But see, what I didn't understand, and maybe I'm wrong, but I felt like everyone that drafted players that were out, they immediately was able to put them on their IR, which honestly was the smartest strategy. It's just go find players that are hurt, that are good,
Yeah.
put them on your IR, and then you can go grab 2 more players out of the
To fill that. Yeah.
top 120 or whatever it was that we ended up drafting. But when I did that and put them on IR, it wouldn't let me pick up anybody. Or it made me go to waivers. And then, so this morning when I picked up TJ Warren, I thought I could throw him on IR and then go grab another player, but it made me have to buy another player. So
I wonder if it was just a timing thing.
I don't know. But Ryan made it sound like he had to bid for the players that he got. But I feel like his roster immediately was updated. So I don't know. But so yeah, I don't know what to do. Just leave it the way it is or just change it. Just leave it the way it is to where every day it's going to make it to where like you better really want the player, and it keeps you
Right.
from gaining an extra 5 or 6 games a week by
Yeah,
playing
'cause
the
I think
game.
that's what you were trying to deter was the adding the players. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
'cause it's just kind of like the whole like my point was kind of what I was saying earlier. Blake was like, it's not there's not even really any strategy involved with that because it's like you just need warm bodies at this point.
yeah,
Like it doesn't like the game itself is like who can play the most players. Like
yes,
regardless of how good the player is, just
yeah,
throw them in.
yeah. Well, but then again, you get to the point where your squad is so good to where it's like I don't want to. Even this guy might be getting me 15, 5, and 5, but I don't want to get rid of him because no one else is really giving me 15, 5, and 5.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Even though he might get an extra game for you, but I don't know. Like, I like doing the picking up and dropping, but then again, it's just like, man, it seems like it just gives people such an advantage, by having more games, and then, but I don't know. I don't know if there's a way to make it the fairest,
you got to send a screenshot of the settings.
Of the what?
Send a screenshot of the settings.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Basically, I think I did earlier. That Richard did. I basically just have it to where it's waivers every day.
Right.
So, anyways,
yeah. As long as everybody understands the rules, I don't see a problem with it.
yeah, I think
because it's new to everybody, so I don't see anybody having an advantage the way that it is.
right. And maybe we can let it roll for a couple weeks and see if we like it, and then if not, then we can change it up. So,
Right. All right.
Hey, Richard, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What happened with this? I know what happened to that situation at School 57. What did they determine and what they do to the people?
Well, I know that that person's in jail. From what I've understand, and I talked to somebody the other day that was close to the incident. The person that actually caused it was a very young person, like just out of high school.
oh no.
And I believe I was told it was a male that hit somebody else, and that person hit the child. So that person's going to jail, and I think they are talking about trying that person as an adult. Like,
Is that going to be like a count of like manslaughter?
yeah, it would have. Yeah, I mean, because it wasn't intentional, so it would be manslaughter at that point.
So how long do you get in prison for that?
I think it's minimum 5, maximum 20. Depends upon the state level, but I think. But even if you get 5, they're looking at maybe 2.5 years you're in, because you only have to serve half your sentence before you're up for probation, I believe.
Yeah, I know you still live in that area. That was my old. I lived right down there, right across from Howe High School.
Oh yeah,
For like 4804 East Pleasant Run, I think is what the number was. So
oh
that
yeah.
was-
My in-laws live off of Pleasant Run. They live next to the golf course.
Okay. Yeah, I actually played basketball for Our Lady of Lourdes.
Okay,
So we was all in that area all the time. And that is, even though you got 2 schools right there, the church, everybody flies right through there.
They don't anymore. They're police just squatting. Police just squatting now, just waiting to pull people.
Yeah.
So
Okay, thank you. I didn't know how they finished that up.
yeah, the person hasn't gone to trial or anything yet, but they're going to try to kind of. I mean, look, it's unfortunate, but you killed a kid, and for first grader.
Well, that's what we were talking about a minute ago.
And,
One mistake, your life is junk.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, the other thing too is like you have to understand the butterfly effect, right? Like my kids are still messed up about it.
Yeah.
Like my daughter, like the other day, she thought that this is kind of silly, but she thought you go to heaven because you're old. Like she thought you just willingly go to heaven because you're old and you're just done, so you're gonna go to heaven. Like she didn't realize like you can die young. Like that never entered her brain.
Yeah.
Now she's freaked out about it.
Wow. Man, and that can really affect her. I mean, that can really control. Does she think about it a lot, talk about it a lot, or?
She does, and now like she kind of freaks out when we cross the street. She kind of she's like Jacob today was gonna ride his bike to his grandparents, and like we let him do it. It's fine, but she started crying.
Wow.
Because she didn't want him to go.
Mm-hmm.
we've never had that problem. So that's what I'm saying. It's like there's like a bigger butterfly effect at that hit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't want to take away from the death, but at the same time, it's like, look, the immediate action is not the only thing that happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Well-
And even, I mean, I kind of feel bad for the dude too, because I mean, like, I know that's what was not that person's intentions,
No.
and now, like, even if you just get the 2 years, your whole life is ruined, like publicly. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's gonna, background check and stuff like that.
I think maybe this person might be young enough that, even if you serve 2 or 3 years, they can probably get out and maybe you can possibly get your record expunged or sealed or something so it doesn't ruin your life per se. There are things in the court system that help with that. So it's, I don't know. Yeah, it's just right now life sucks for that.
I kind of say a blessing every time I go back to the old neighborhood, because Pleasant Run Parkway from the golf course all the way to Garfield.
Yeah.
We would race on that 80, 90 mile an hour, sometimes touch 100, and be thinking, what if a kid pulled out in front of us on a bike?
Yeah.
We had him. I mean, we did it all the time. It could have been a nightly thing, or just do it. We just was always driving fast, and I think
it gets dark in some of those areas too.
No, and I was one of the kids that hadn't the license early. I'd have 6, 7 kids in the car. We'd be running 80 mile an hour down Pleasant Run.
Yeah.
What if I hit a tree, killed him?
You just don't think about that stuff,
No.
I mean, when you're young, I mean, I feel like I'm a worry wart now. You know what I mean? Like my kid, running, you're gonna fall and break something. They just look at me like I'm nuts.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you don't understand. Like, it can happen.
But you did, I know, but you did, like, I think about that a lot. And I know I've been vocal about that, just like the fear we put on our kids. Cause I mean, we just don't want them to get hurt because we don't go to the doctor. We don't want to go to the hospital. There's a million reasons why we don't want you to run with scissors. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, my big thing is like, they'll have like their phone or their tablet and they'll be walking around the house with it in their face.
Oh yeah.
You can't, or they'll be going up and down stairs watching.
Yes. Yeah.
Like you can't be doing that.
Yeah. Takes one slip.
Yeah.
And I remember being so worried, like I wouldn't let her, play. Like I had to be out there while she was playing in the yard, and like I never remember that growing up. Like we were gone, we're on bikes and stuff like that. But like, hey, I'm always watching her play and stuff like that.
Well, now like I turn my Ring camera on when she goes outside. Yeah. Like I'm always watching her. Like she's always being watched, whether she knows it or not. So
yeah,
the brother's watching you.
Kind of creepy, but yeah.
I'm glad you said that. So we had this conversation at work the other day too, because we were talking about how so many crimes are picked up now because of videos, right? Because of the rings or whatever. So then my thought was, how great would it be if like every not a stoplight, but every whatever, you're at Walmart and there's, the big lights that are shining, there's camera, which they may already do, right? Yeah, but to where literally everything is recorded. Mm-hmm. And then I was like,
that's a lot.
That's what?
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
It's happening though.
Yes, because
there's more cameras than what you think there is.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's
cameras on streetlights.
Yeah,
exactly.
Cameras. So
yeah. So it made my thought like, well, hey, that'd be great. It'd be a lot harder for people to break into cars, or you would have better, right? But then it's like, how much longer before it's so and so got caught saying this on a Walmart surveillance camera to a friend, because now they can not only see what you're doing, they can hear what you're doing, they can, just that whole privacy is just completely gone. Exactly. I know. It's the phone. I know. It's so silly. It's this. Like, it's everything.
But they also have to have a reason, right? To be looking at that video, right?
I don't know if they need a reason to listen to our conversation. They don't need a reason to check our photos. I mean, they've came out and said that. Like, we're going to look at your photos because we want to make sure there's no child porn on there. Well, what if there's...
It happened to us sitting here a year ago talking about garage doors and putting a different door in. Next morning, I got 4 things about garage doors on my phone.
Oh yeah.
It's just like, okay, who's listening?
Oh yeah.
That's Siri and Facebook. So
Yeah.
funny story about the Ring, real quick. I have a Ring camera in my front and back.
Okay.
And so the one out front, probably I think it was February of this year. I was asleep and I heard just the loudest bang. It woke me up, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And then I just kind of laid there for a minute, and it was my alarm didn't go off or anything, so I just kind of went back to sleep. Woke up the next day, and there was a police car at my neighbor's house. Somebody was drunk driving through the neighborhood and just creamed my next door neighbor's car.
Oh my gosh.
Well, because my Ring camera was there, it detected a person.
Yep.
It was a big car and it made a loud noise, and I got the whole thing on video.
Oh wow.
So I was able to send it to my neighbor so he could then send it to his insurance, and he got his stuff covered, and that person got caught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the point. See, and that's why I say we're so
What,
afraid
you
of
don't
that.
have one?
Yeah, we've got one. But
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
like the best thing ever.
that's my whole point of how we're so afraid to let our kids play in our front yard. But in all reality, we have cameras everywhere, guys. Like it's the safest time, you know, to let your kids play, but we don't.
I think I'm just paranoid because it's like it takes 1 second. All it does is
Just like your dad said when the guy pulled up on Janae. Like if he wouldn't have been there,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? All it takes is that.
All it takes is
That
one
2 seconds.
for somebody to walk into my backyard or jump from the gate or just something
I get it.
insane happen. And my daughter's been told, like, hey, if anybody enters this yard and they ain't who you know, you scream at the top of your lungs.
But that's been the case forever.
Right.
Right. But now we actually have cameras.
Right.
know? So
I
it's
know,
like,
but that's the thing, Blake. It's so different, and people know that the cameras are there. It doesn't. They're unfazed by it.
They are. Yeah.
But it doesn't matter if you got a camera. You still got the child. And you don't know where the child went.
Yeah,
Right.
You have all the cameras you want.
But you can at least catch a car. You can catch. I mean, you know, you at least have a better chance of catching somebody.
Yeah.
There's so many times that you see updates on that Ring app that this person still stole stuff. Like, dude, they're looking at the camera. Like, they don't care.
They don't care. Like, oh, look, Amazon box.
Yeah.
You know, guys, I feel bad for this generation and probably the generation before. My time, we was out till 10, 11 o'clock every night, weekends, walking the streets. My group wasn't really doing anything bad. We was just out when we was like 6th, 7th, 8th graders. But this, I mean, that was the fun when my group of people get together to talk. That's what we talk about. Hanging out in the streets. This generation can't do that. And it's sad.
They're talking about playing Roblox together.
Yeah.
Staying inside, yeah.
Video game play, they play Roblox or whatever the big game is at the time.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. It keeps changing. It'll be interesting to see what these next 20 years are like. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Crazy.
All right.
Is that it? Ooh, sexy music.
All right.
We didn't get no NBA.
There's
Nick-
time for that. We got like 8 months for that.
I know. Yeah, I thought today was gonna be all NBA. I ain't gonna
We
lie.
got the game on right above you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This-
I think the Pacers lost. So
Did they really?
by like
This
a-
the Knicks and Boston game's been good. The Knicks crowd's like really into it. They got a young squad.
yeah,
Yeah.
I see Michael J. Fox was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
I know.
I know.
It's like I went Back to the Future.
You did.
Hey, hey.